So tell me, how many questions do you have in a 3-hour questions that you have to write in a 3-hour test? Hmm? 17. Are you sure? Okay. Here it is 17. Sometimes it can be. In the exam it is 19. I gave more of 20 marks questions. Okay. So these were 250 marks and 3 hours, so 180 minutes. 250 marks and 180 minutes. So how do you distribute time? (250 by 2) 125. 120 plus 60. So you have to attempt 250 marks in 180. That is 120 plus 60 minutes. Okay. How do you attempt in 120 plus 60? I would say for every question go by number of marks by 2 plus 2 or 3 minutes to plan. Number of marks by 2 plus 2 or 3 minutes for every question. So how much time can you take for a 20 marks question? 12 to 13. For a 10 marks question? 7 to 8 minutes. So this can be your approximate allocation. Okay. So which means taking out the time for planning. For a 20 marks question, you only have 10 minutes. And for a 10 marks question, you only have 5 minutes. And in sociology, you can attempt all and you can succeed. You should try to attempt all and you can succeed in attempting all. So attempt all. Okay. In an unfavorable circumstances, you may miss one question. But otherwise, you should be in a position to answer all of them. Totally around 19 questions. Okay. So, for 10 marker, you only have around 5 plus. And for 20 marker, you only have around 10 plus. So that is to say, very little time. Very little time. Okay. Which means you should prepare in advance. Okay, the purpose of this test series is to identify all the dimensions on which you need to prepare. This is what I am promising in the test series. If some dimensions are missing in this question on gender, you can be sure that will appear in the comprehensive test. Okay. So if something is missing, it will appear in the comprehensive test. So all the possible dimensions I want you to be thorough with. So I am designing the test series in such a way that if you are thorough with all the questions asked and you have your outlines clear, information clear, you can consider your preparation is complete. Is my point clear? So all the possible dimensions are going to be included in the test series. Okay. You know, we clubbed on the basis of area, paper 1 and paper 2. I'm giving the material. Okay. So you should read the material and take the test. And after that we'll have a discussion like this. But I will discuss your script individually during the next test. That is, I will discuss your scripts on 27th when you are writing the test. So with each one of you I can spend 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So we will have test discussion after maybe 2-3 days after the test, and then discussion on your actual script 4-5 days after that. So this is the schedule. Is it clear? So let us discuss these questions. So given the time that it is half the marks in minutes and plus 2-3 minute plus 2-3, you really don't have much time. So what I want you is come directly to the question. Come directly to the question. Okay? Handle it logically. Come early to the question. Directly, logically, and come early. Don't beat around. Okay? So, you have to answer in a way that you are logically putting forward your argument before the examiner. Okay? So when you are logically answering to the examiner, so that's logically answering, then you take the support of others, thinkers, studies, reports, examples, events, like this. Don't think that I have these studies and I should quote the studies. No. Don't think that I know 2 thinkers on this issue. I will somehow put them here. Don't do it. You are answering things logically and things should fall in place. Nothing should be done artificially. Nothing to show your knowledge. Answer directly, talk to him, and as a matter of evidence to your answer, you bring thinkers, reports, newspaper events, day-to-day examples, anything. Nothing should affect the naturalness and logical continuity of your answer. Your reading should help you, but it shouldn't spoil you. Is it clear? And how do you get this logical continuity? Pay attention to keywords, links, and arrive at a theme. And then after that, outline. This we discussed in our writing class. What are the keywords of the question? From the keywords, what do you make of the question? What do you make of the question or understand the question? Then what is your answer? Then what is your theme? And from the theme, arrive at an outline. You should do it very directly, very clearly and coherently. Okay. After all, it is simply 7 minutes for a 10 marks question. Okay. How about points versus paragraphs? Whether you write in points or paragraphs, what is important is logical continuity. At many places, paragraph is easier way of bringing logical continuity. But at certain places, when you have many points and don't have time, then maybe you can generate in points. But writing in points doesn't mean throwing at the face of the examiner the information. Okay. And then to make the presentation more striking, use diagrams, flow charts. Flow charts. Okay. So that is a smarter and faster way of communicating. And when you are writing in paragraphs and you want the examiner to draw attention to a particular point, underline. Use subheads, subheadings. Underlining, subheading, okay, diagrams, flow charts, okay. Introduction is explaining the direction of your answer. Introduction. Let there be an introduction for any question. 10 marks or 20 marks. And conclusion. Okay. So direct, least number of words, striking form of presentation, taking least amount of time, but carrying as much information as possible, which is as direct as possible. Okay. Whatever that enables the examiner to get your point with least effort from his side is good. That's all. That is the most important criteria. How much time and effort he should put in to understand your answer. The lesser the time, you can say, the better the answer. Is this clear? So, time limit and too many questions give rise to a particular form of presentation. That form of presentation is that extremely direct and short. Which also means you should prepare in advance. You should prepare in advance, but at the same time, you should reflect during the examination. You cannot say, I prepared so much, I will write without thinking. No. Please. No. In my approach, the introduction as a definition starts in the second paragraph, not in the first. Giving a direction to what you are going to say. Definition starts in the second para. Definition starts in the second para. Not summary. What is it that you want to say through this question? We will look into that. Okay. But definition is not introduction. That is the second para. Okay. So let us discuss key dimensions. First question, gender identity in a child. Gender identity in a child. So tell me, what are important words in this, crucial words? Gender, identity, and child. Of course, all are crucial, only in and a. Gender is important, it is important, and it is confined to child. So what is that? What is the question? But what is the question? That's fine, but that is equally abstract sentence. How way? Can't you make less abstract statement? Can't you write, it is all about how a girl feels like a girl? That's all. No. No. See, is it about declining sex ratio? No. It's about gender identity, sense of being a girl, sense of being a boy. Yes, fine. It is all about how a boy comes to think he is a boy. Fine. Same as girl. But nothing to do with sex ratio. Okay. So, that is what I say is introduction. Not about gender refers to, sex refers to, no. Socialization refers to, no. That is second paragraph. So, through introduction, the examiner should know that the candidate has understood the question. This is the first thing. Has understood. And then, this is the direction of his answer. That's all. Not the entire answer. Not the conclusion. has understood, and this is the direction. This is about how girl comes to feel she is a girl, a boy comes to feel he is a boy. Then you develop the theory. Sex refers to biology, gender refers to social. Okay, gender is a construct. And what is the role? Role of socialization. Boys given a particular toys, girls another. Boys follow father, girls mother. Segregation within a classroom. Dress, color. Okay. And which behavior is encouraged, which behavior is discouraged. In boys, some behavior is encouraged, some discouraged. Who is given household work? Who is allowed to go out? Aggression is not discouraged in a boy, but discouraged in a girl. So how do you handle this? This is through examples. Examples play a powerful role here. Examples. What are the core concepts? Sex, gender, identity. Identity is about what one feels like. Do you know, for most of us, if we are born as a boy, we also feel like boys. Born as girls, feel like girls. But you know, this is not universal. There are cases where people are born as boys, but they feel they are actually girls. These are the issues of transgender. That is, sex and gender are not matching. They have a serious problem. Everybody says he's a boy, but in fact he feels that he's a girl. So some go in for operation. But why, when everybody says boy, he feels, we don't even know he or she, feels it's a girl? Why in most cases that is not the case? In most cases that is not the case because socialization succeeds. But in some cases socialization is failing. And some cases socialization may be failing because of purely biological reasons. Or there may be socialization defect. For example, if a girl is brought up dressed as a boy because the parents think that they are missing a son, then the girl who grows up may have an identity problem because she was playing with boys, dressed as a boy, and in fact she is a girl. So that can be mainly due to socialization. But sometimes it may not be socialization. Socialization in one way, but it is not internalized. Then that is a serious problem. Tell me, will you consider writing like this in the exam? Yes or no? No? Write like that. Don't think I am explaining things whereas you should write differently. Writing is explaining. So what is needed in this question? Conceptual clarity. Examples. You can take a striking issue where sex and gender, there is a mismatch and maybe different reasons. Okay. So how am I writing this answer? I didn't confine to exactly sex and gender that you study in sociology or anthropology. I'm going out. In fact, I didn't plan to go out. I was just, as I was explaining to you, I got this example. So think logically and bring the information from variety of sources and write coherently. What is needed is very high level of conceptual clarity. You should have clarity about sex gender difference and what does identity mean and what is socialization. So clarity over core concepts. Examples. That's all. Yes. How else will you write this question? Without example, this doesn't make much sense. Examples are a simpler and a direct and a striking way of presenting your case. Don't quote. Don't quote. Why do you need to quote? Don't quote. Why do you have to decide to quote? Answer logically. If any thinker is coming naturally, ask. Otherwise, leave it. That's why don't have such predetermined answers. There is a question, you should answer logically. So don't say some ding dong studied on gender and then put it here. Not necessary. Logical, coherent presentation is what is needed. Okay. Most of the time thinkers can be distracting, which will affect your flow of thinking. Okay. First of all, why do you need a thinker in this? It is insulting to quote a thinker in this question. Because this is something that you can arrive at. Not a quotation, write a quotation. What is there to write a quotation on this? If there is an observation which is profound, which is counterintuitive, which is arrived statistically, then you support. Marks comes from your thinking, not from thinkers' thinking. Either they got marks or they failed, but it is about your exam. Show that you are thinking, not somebody else thought. You think. But wherever your thinking owes to some thinker, mention him. Some thinker, mention him. Materialism, you didn't think. Somebody else thought. So bring marks. So there are so many things which we have not arrived at. And there are some unusual observations by others. Bring them. Is it clear? Logical continuity is a must. So don't think where should I quote thinkers and then I'll give quotations on thinkers. Just not necessary. Okay. Empirical validation, a report. This is the state of affairs in the caste, whatever. Report, some unusual observation. Then others come. Here what is not yours? Concepts are not yours. Identity used in a particular way. Sex, gender differentiated in a particular way. So you should. Is it clear? This is social. We look into that question, but this is what we discussed is sociology. We look into questions like that. So is this clear? Importance of lineage. Importance of lineage. Many social students will find this question difficult. It is because they confine to sociology and they don't read anthropology. This is a question from anthropology. That is why I recommend Ember and Ember. Lineage is mentioned in the syllabus. Questions are asked. But to write from social sources is difficult. So there is a lot of commonality in anthropology and sociology. The questions that are difficult in sociology are usually coming from anthropology. Importance of lineage. Harlambos won't help. Okay. Actually, this is a very, very good. This is my first preference as a socio textbook. People don't read this book. So they read Harlambos and full of views. He said that man said, what are views, views and views. They don't know which view to take, what is their view. Why? Because it is all, I would say it is a telephone, it is a directory. It is a directory of opinions. It doesn't enable you to think on your own. That is why I recommend Ember and Ember. Ember and Ember is the first sociology textbook, miscalled anthropology. So after getting that basics, then there are certain views on contemporary society. Harlambos is the best source. People don't read the basics. They want to pick up these views. They have so many of others' views and they want to dump down their views, leading to illogical answers. Okay. The importance of lineage. Tell me, what should be an outline? The theme here is that importance of lineage. The theme can be importance of kinship. Okay, kinship is particularly important in simple societies, but less so in complex societies. And then, what is lineage? A group of people who trace their descent to a known ancestor. That's how they're different from clan. Lineage. And in a simple society, what is a link? Divided into lineages. And lineages have certain, can be political functions, sometimes lineages and sometimes clans. They have economic function, political function, religious function, military, defense. It's a function. It's all in a simple societies. But what is happening in a complex societies? In complex societies, the importance of lineage is coming down. Because people are more individualistic and the state is playing important role. Institutions are playing important role. Okay. It's like this. Lineage is simply a unit of kin group. So what is a lineage? What functions it performs? And then what happens when there is a change from simple to complex? How institutions evolve. This is discussed mainly in anthropology literature. Okay. So lineages even now are important in marriage regulations. Okay. People of same lineage don't marry. Members of same lineage will be considered brother and sisters. Same thing about the clan. So how marriage is regulated? Through lineage links. So what role it was playing at one time and how things have changed. So there is an easy question from anthropology books, but quite difficult from sociology books. Is it clear? Introduction is the importance of lineage depends upon the level of complexity of the society. You are defining, you are explaining what the direction of your answer is. From simple to complex. Next, I will come to family and household because there are other issues. Try this Islamic feminism. What do you write under Islamic feminism? Islamic feminism. What does it mean? Yes. So feminism within. This feminism and within. So feminism related to rights of Muslim woman. Islamic feminism. Okay. So where do you get this? Where do you get information on Islamic feminism? Current affairs. Recently, what was that issue? Triple talaq. What did a woman argue? What did Supreme Court say? And finally, women are happy. Okay. So it comes from current affairs. Define what is feminism. Search for gender equality. And Islamic feminism is about for Muslim woman. For Muslim woman. Recently, this became an issue in this context of. Right. Timeline. 19? After 1980s. Muslim Woman Code Bill. Fine. Yes, you can give the timeline. Muslim Woman Bill. Muslim Board. Conflict. Finally, recent judgment. Okay. But what critical observations can be made here? Critical observations is that some people were seeing it, looking at it as an Islamic issue, and some people as taking it as a gender issue. Okay. For too long, Muslims took it as their issue and the state should not interfere. Hindus shouldn't interfere. Okay. But now what happened? Things have changed. Women became more conscious. Muslim women themselves have taken up that issue. They themselves made an issue. And the government cooperated. And finally things done. Which means the issue became from religion to gender. This is a successful thing. So when you think this is a crucial observation, put it as a diagram. From religion to gender. So it was taken as an Islam versus Hindu issue. Hindus trying to reform Muslims. But later it became a gender issue, and which is a progress. Which is a progress. Whatever you think are crucial observations, put them in a diagrammatic form, underline, make sure that the examiner notices it. This is a high level observation. Shifting of a public discourse from religion to gender. That is where it became successful. Okay. On gender and society. Gender and sex may not match. That is a different observation. So think of what are certain unique ideas or your own observations or certain important observations. So highlight them. Highlight them through diagrams or charts, underlining, color, whatever. Okay. Next, matrilineal and gender equality. Matrilineal gender equality also. Again, it is anthropology. What do you say about matrilineal and gender equality? What is matrilineal? Tracing descent through female line. Draw a diagram. Give examples. Kasi, Nair. These are more anthropology. Okay. And what is gender equality? See here, it may be assumed that the matrilineal means women have more power. That is not true. Not only that women don't have more power, they are not even equal. So you say matrilineal is not matriarchy. Matriarchy is only a fiction. So it is found in matrilineal societies also. Men dominate. Instead of husband, brother. Instead of father, uncle. Okay. So what happens in Kasi? Or what happens among Nairs? So take it essentially, matrilineal is not matriarchy, and then gender equality is absent even in matrilineal societies. But woman's status in matrilineal is more than woman's status in patrilineal. That's all. So identify the most important possible misunderstanding and explain. Here again examples. So whether you prove it through an example or through profile or through case study or through a report or a newspaper event is what you have to choose. But these are all the various ways of making a point. Okay. So here, instead of saying generally matrilineal, these examples will make it clear. Okay. So what can be an introduction? Introduction can be, even in matrilineal, there is no gender equality. Matrilineal societies are not matriarchal. Or gender equality is absent, but less so in matrilineal. So that is meant by one-liner, and not the definition of matrilineal. The definition of matrilineal and other things will come in the second paragraph. So give the direction first and then start the story from the second para.
So what about ritual hierarchy in matrilineage? Like either women are allowed to perform some rituals?
No, men, that is the
In case of normal society, it's like the husband and wife performing together. But when it comes to matrilineage, husband is absent basically. So how does it work?
no, in certain rituals, woman may have in certain rituals. In certain rituals. No, what is your point? What do you want to say?
Asking what the status of the woman is.
The status of woman is inferior to men. Isn't it? That's the point. But it is better than in a patrilineal society.
Better means it could only be symbolic. Matrilineal.
Take economic and political power. Who controls the resources?
Example, if the mother brother, which means uncle to uncle. So economically also she might not be that liberated. Economically also she might not be that liberated.
That is why we are saying this one. Okay. Next, 2a. What is patriarchy? Discuss its universality and implications. Again, I would say it is anthropology, Emerald Empire. All the basic questions are from anthropology. What is patriarchy? How to discuss its universality and implications. What is meant by universality of patriarchy? In all? How can you say universality is in all domains? This particular feature is universal. Huh? Present everywhere where? Exactly. In all societies, not in every area of a society. You don't say patriarchy is there in economy, patriarchy is there in in politics, patriarchy is there in science and technology. Not like that. That's right. But we are saying, what is universality? Universality here means patriarchy is there in all societies. In all societies. Simple, complex, developed, developing, advanced, whatever. Or across religions, Islamic, Hindu, like that. So is it there? Very much. How do we know? We discussed. I gave the material. Basically, there is sexual dimorphism, sexual differences leading to gender differences. Woman tied to so many children and man free. And in this marriage, there is inequality. Woman is tied to child care and child rearing responsibilities. Okay. Where you will get this understanding? You get this from anthropology. So use the telephone directory carefully. Don't memorize all the telephone numbers. Okay. So universality of patriarchy. Universality is because that woman is tied to these things. Okay. And what is happening to the patriarchy now, it is reduced. How is it reduced? Because there is freedom to women because of sex-related technology, reproduction-related technology, economic opportunities. And so, woman is becoming freer, and so gender equality is becoming more possible. So things are changing. And then, given the level of technology and given a level of complexity, the opportunities to women are different, and so the extent of patriarchy varies across societies. So these are basic questions. I asked basic foundational questions on gender, and then the applicative part. So universality of patriarchy is important. This is universal. Feminism is an opposition to patriarchy. Feminism is a movement to undermine patriarchy. We'll come to that. Next. 2b. What is sexual division of labor and what factors influence it? What is sexual division of labor? Why do you use the word stereotyping? So is woman stereotyped to conceive children? And man stereotyped to work? Why do you use the word stereotyping? Stereotyping means condemning. Isn't it? Why do you say stereotyping? By stereotyping you are saying it is a prejudice. But why do you assume it is a prejudice in the first place? Sexual division of labor refers to division of work on the basis of sex. Why do you call it stereotyping? Harlambos is responsible for this kind of miseducation. He hasn't explained the universal basis of sexual division of labor. He includes all kinds of views which are critical, without seeing what is the universality of the basis. So you don't read the universality basis and you read all kinds of views. Read basics, think for yourself, and after that, where you have thinking gaps, read others. Sexual division of labor simply refers to division of labor on the basis of sex. Sexual division of labor is not stereotyped division of work. Is it clear? So sex, man, woman, this thing. And woman needed to take care of children. So sexual division of labor historically and even to this point is related to child care compatibility. Child care compatible. So woman is allotted that work which is child care compatible. Men hunt, women gather. Men take part war, women don't. Sex-based division of labor. But then as technology improved, as we got control over our life process, then women started doing what was traditionally man's. giving scope to gender equality. Okay, so child care compatibility, and then how this child care compatibility is being undermined because of enormous opportunities to women. So now sexual division of labor is more flexible and diversity is taking place. So how division of labor is changing now? Don't ask me which thinker. Not at all necessary. This is what happened. Give the sequence. Sociology is useful when you understand modern day societies, modern complex societies, things changing. But when you are coming to the roots and basics, anthropology is the best. So anthropology gives you the clarity, and then after that, sociology gives it contemporary trends and certain definitions. That's how it is. That's the easiest way of doing sociology.
So is it okay to put your opinions without any supporting evidence or
This is the evidence. This is the, for example, when you are writing about Indus Valley, what do you write? This is what happened. Child care. If you can give child care compatibility, this is all a standard thing only. Child care compatibility is not my theory. Evidence for child care compatibility as the most important source of division of labor. You can include. It's all anthropology source.
okay, but generally I'm asking common sense
That's right. Exactly. Common sense may not be always correct. That is why you need to quote thinkers, studies, things like that. You are not writing from common sense. Okay. So wherever you can, this is a substantial standard knowledge. So writing this. Where there is some thinker made an unusual contribution, or some study, or you are saying something which is not generally agreed, which need verification, then you quote. But finally, depend on yourself, not on others. You are talking to the examiner, with or without other support. If other support are there, he is welcome. But don't say, I don't have other support, so I don't talk to you. No. Isn't it? How do you explain to your friend? Explain in the same way. But your friend can ask you, how are you able to say that? You can say, yes, I read this. Yes, I read this. So when you are writing, you are talking to him, and you have a source, you say according to the source. Because the examination is not having a conversation with you. Am I clear? Don't destroy your common sense. Okay? You study, remember, but finally it is logic. It is your expression. Wherever you have people to support you, bring them. But don't say, I am not supposed to talk to you, and others are not coming forward, and I don't have anybody. No. I understand, I am talking to you. That is the approach. Is it clear? Next. So, see what factors influence it is what I discussed. childcare compatible, and finally how things have changed. Role of descent groups in the status of woman. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, exactly. As technology and economy changed, sexual division of labor changed. Women are able to do things what traditionally reserved for men, giving basis for gender equality. No. It is the change of sexual division of labor over a period of time. What factors have influenced it? Yes. These are the factors which have influenced it. These factors are changing. Hmm? What do you mean what does? Not necessary. What is sexual division of labor? What factors influence it? These are the factors that are influencing, and this is how it is changing. That is the most important thing about sexual division of labor. Yes, it is changing. Sexual division of labor is changing. In which sense it is changing? What factors are influencing it? Changing times are changing it. How did times change? It is like that. No, I don't know. Do you have a real question? Should you write how it is changing, or you are clear that you should write?
What comes into my mind is,
Please.
after reading question, only I think about mentioning only the factors which results in sexual division.
What are those factors?
Patriarchal mindset.
Patriarchal mindset. Okay. Patriarchal mindset is leading to sexual division of labor. But what factors influence patriarchal mindset? Biology, man and woman are the same. How physical features are changing the patriarchal mindset?
Women are considered weak.
So that you think is patriarchal mindset, right? But what is changing patriarchal mindset? So education is changing patriarchal mindset. So you can say education is changing patriarchal and sexual division of labor. Isn't it? Then what are the other factors? So feminist movement. Like this. Is technology changing? Technology. Is economy changing? Economy. They are influencing patriarchal mindset and influencing sexual division of labor. Isn't it? So these factors influence, and what is the net impact? The net impact into this, these factors are influencing, and there is a change in the sexual division of labor.
So when we say that patriarchal mindset is what drives sexual division of labor, don't you think that putting it in a negative sense? I think sexual division of labor is valid. It facilitated domination. But
That is true. That is true. But this also is a factor. Because for the same thing, why should there be a cultural change? Why should there be a change across societies? So this is one.
sexual division of labor was not because of patriarchal mindset. It played a role in probably facilitating.
Yes, it played a role. We are looking at factors. So can't we say this is one of the factors? Yes. But definitely the tragedy of Harlambos is that he gives something like this only, not the other things.
Talks about biological differences, brain differences and hormonal.
Fine. one of the thinkers. He doesn't say anything. So are you convinced that you should include finally what it is? So anyway, why I am focusing on this question is that what is the dream answer you have? Okay, because when you want to write, you are trying to realize your dream. What is your dream answer? I can tell you about this exam. Dream answer is something which is at a very high level. That is, try to say the best, comprehensive, insightful, widen horizon, like this. Dream is to enlarge. I posted 2 videos on how to prepare for sociology, one by 18th rank and another by Vision IAS trainer. There are some mistakes. I wanted you to first watch. That 18th ranker answers are horrible. And that is her state of knowledge. All the questions. And then that Vision IAS trainer. For them it is a matter of technique and smartness. There is no content. They didn't give. They gave only 290. That is enough. But if you want something more, listen. Just mediocre student-like answers. There is no depth in any of those answers. And then she says, for everything you say, sociologist has contributed also. Street smartness. There is no subject. Here we are teaching subject, making you think and write responsibly. What are those answers? What are those horrifying techniques? So you don't have to, don't give your opinion. Include others. They have no clue to the subject. What they have learned is some techniques and how to beat the exam. They are professionally committed not to understand the subject and yet get more marks. Whereas we are committed to understand the subject and also get marks. We are committed to understand things, think about things, and also get marks. That is our approach. There should be learning approach first. Not development of cheat codes. These are just horrible techniques. It's all about how to hide your ignorance, how to write, though you don't know. You write, though you don't know, but you first learned, right? And don't think. What kind of instructions are these? That is why I asked you, right, these are the things I learned. We'll discuss whether they are right or wrong. Just looseness in learning. There is no seriousness in learning process. So take a question seriously, think about it, and don't play smart. Don't arrive at standard ways of concluding. Give your mind, give your critical reflection. Is it clear? So, what factors influence? Yes. She gave discuss, comment, discuss. Let me tell you, in the examination, they are not really important. Because examination, one very important thing about the examination is that push the quality. Include more dimensions to your answer. So what factors, if you can say these factors are changing, include it. Push and push and push the quality of your answer. Don't say what factors did not say, is there overall change? No. Widen the question. Sky is the limit in mains performance. In some other papers they are getting 340, 350. So widen the question, don't narrow it. Don't focus on what is not asked. What to say beyond what is asked, but after saying what is asked. Give push, constantly push the boundaries of your answer. When the examiner reads, he should think, yes, a thinking person is behind the answer. Not somebody who mugged up all the material. Examiner senses that this man is thinking. Examiner will not go by, yes, he quoted two thinkers, so for two thinkers, each thinker 3 marks. There is nothing like that. He gave a report, so report this thing. Vision material, finished, 4 marks. There is nothing like that. He will have an idea of what you are through your answer. Only what you are, nothing more. Okay. So any insight, highlight it and put it. And watch videos to know that the insight that we have conveyed through our courses is completely very unusual. Hold it as a precious thing and include it in the exam. Okay. Next, 3A. Discuss South Indian kinship system. This is a direct. Role of descent groups in the status of women. So, role of descent groups. Again, this is anthropology. What are the various descent groups? Types of descent. But focus on patry and matry. And then this leads to residence rules, and patry give more domination to this, whereas matry more power to woman. Okay. Then here Kasi, Nair. In the examination, don't give the same examples, but this is only one test on gender. So you cannot avoid repetition, but in the examination don't keep talking about Kasi and Nair. Okay. So let your paper be diverse. So here, because already there was a question, this is similar question. So matry is like this. And then you can also see descent groups and marriage are related. Marriage norms, preferential marriages. So cross cousin marriages improve status of woman. Unrelated, for example, North Indian system contributes to, South Indian system contributes to woman, higher role to woman. North Indian system less. So Airavati Karve's article. So link descent systems with marriage rules and widen it. Because marriage rules are related to descent systems. How are they related to? Through clan rules. 4-clan rule. Patrick Ross, Matrick Ross. Okay. So descent groups linked to marriage, marriage linked to status of woman. Write very, very clearly through diagrams, through charts, underline, and logically. Don't dump. Don't quote unnecessarily. Extremely clear and logical presentation. We'll discuss. Okay. Next, 3A. Discuss South Indian kinship system. 3A. How do you write this? South Indian kinship system. Again, here, one way of writing something is by comparing and contrasting. Here you have to write North India and how South India are different. So like this, focus here, but how different. So what is the most important study? Here study is important. Airavati Karve. What did she do about North India and then South India? And then what is in between? How cross cousin, here it is cross matri, patri, and here distant. What is it called? 4-clan rule. And then hypergamy, distant. So many things we discussed. Do it from Airavati Karve's article. But what in essence is the North Indian system? North Indian system is spreading of the kin group. You spread kin connections across. And what did she relate to? She related it to pastoralism. How about South Indian system? South Indian system is not spreading. South Indian system is consolidation. South Indian system is based on consolidation of kin groups, and North Indian system is based on spreading of the kinship systems. That in essence is the difference. And trace it through cross cousin. And here it's not yourself. It is Airavati Karve's very clear study. How did they classify India? And then like this. So basically, what is a general presentation without a study and something like this? See, certain things become a part of a textbook. Then thinker is no longer involved in it. For example, you don't have to know who defined lineage like that. People who know the history of anthropology may know who defined lineage like that. Now it is a part of the textbook. You don't have to say according to him lineage is. But Airavati Karve is not a part of the textbook. It is a study closely associated with her, not a part of a textbook. So one study. So it is where thinker is important. So certain things have become part of common knowledge, part of textbook. Then you say write like a textbook. Certain things are very clearly associated with particular person because there is something unique. Then that thinker comes. Okay, you can't write about this without talking about Airavati Karve. So again, when you are studying about Nair, there is one woman studied. Mention her name. Kathleen. So like that, when what you are saying is related to a particular person, mention his name. What you are saying is a part of a textbook without associated with any one specific person, then write generally. If some thinking is distinctive to that person, for example, you can't say religion is an identity just like that. That is Durkheim's idea. Religion is an opium. You can't say just like that. It is Marx's idea. There, some positions are taken by those thinkers. You have to mention those thinkers. It's like that. So not artificially showing off your knowledge. Should come natural.
But here, Raj is only to discuss about the South Indian kinship system.
Exactly. Because South India is contrasted with North India.
Essentially, we have to talk about North India also.
Exactly. That's it. Certain things are revealed through comparison and contrast. You can't write about, for example, Weber's idealism without reference to Marx's materialism. One is defined vis-a-vis the other. So here South Indian system is seen in comparison to North. But it is just that if it is North and South, a table is possible. If it is South focused, unlike North, or North is different, like that. And when in doubt, remember this principle. Widen. Widen the question. Don't narrow it. Please don't say this only asks for explain and not enumerate, not examine, not critical examine. No. Always widen the question. Give a push. Push and push and push. Hmm. 3 years.
What would be an ideal conclusion?
South Indian kinship system. South Indian kinship system is based on consolidation of kin groups.
That would probably form the introduction. My direction would be South Indian kinship system consolidated and probably more
Fine.
oppressive, less oppressive towards women.
Yes.
So what would be the conclusion?
You can.
Or do we need to conclude in such an answer? It's just discussing what forms the kinship system here.
We'll look into that. I don't have any. It depends on your. If I have any point, I'll let you know. See, come to joint family later. Various types of family. What are these types of family? I'll come to that. Types of family. What are the types of family? Nuclear, joint, extended. But another type is that the number of spouses, polygamy, polygyny, polyandry. These are also marriages. And different kinds of marriages give rise to different kinds of families. So include the types of family also comes under anthropology source. Anthropology plus sociology. Okay, types of marriages. So various types. And then here you can link how the types are changing. At one time, extended, nuclear, and then after nuclear, even matrifocal. Okay. And divorce rates, reconstituted families, step families, These are all types of families. So you can give types and then see the change. Just like that, factors influencing sexual division of labor. Change. How the types are changing in a timeline. So when you are giving more points, you think of an organizing principle. By what organizing principle I will include all these points. So changes in the types of family. Changes in family and marriage. Next. Rule of? No. Matri will lead to different kinds of families, that's all. You don't have to go near avunculocal, things like that. Okay, but that raises an important point. Please, this is one exam technique, one very important thing. Don't focus on the number of points, but rather essence enhancement. Essence enhancement, not this. What does it mean? Something like avunculocal, you get a point. But how insignificant is it? Like that. So it is not about number of points. It is not how many types of family you write. But what is the overall theme of your answer? Have you finally conveyed to the examiner what is happening to the family and what is happening to the types? Is it point clear? Many people think they should generate number. More thinkers, more studies, more points, more bullets. But focus on essence enhancement. Essence. So when you have to enhance the essence, what happens is that you have to remove the minor ones and elaborate on the major ones. Then only it will have power. Next, discuss the functionalist views of family. Very simple question. Here very clearly functionalist views. This is a direct question on thinkers. Functionalism, is a school. Here you say functionalism is a school. What are the assumptions? What is a school? What are the assumptions? Assumptions of what is status quo is good. Everything is functional. So as a part of it, some people gave functionalism. Parsons. What did Parsons say about the functions of the family? Okay. Then, dysfunctions. R.D. Lyong you can give. And then, what can be the conclusion? Very direct question. Very direct question. Tell me finally, is family functional or dysfunctional? Or you cannot say? No, what is your conclusion? Largely, is family functional or dysfunctional? Why do you have dilemmas regarding whether you are going to have a family or not? I am very interested, please. Do you have a dilemma whether you are going to get married or you take it obvious? You have a dilemma. You also regret being a member of family? Then? Do you have dilemmas? Why? Do you advise others also? It is a very risky thing and don't get married. Hmm? Why? If you are sure that you are going to have a family and you want others to have families, but then how can you say that it is both functional and dysfunctional?
So it is changing the way.
No, why do you say that?
Because we have different examples where it perform functional aspect also and dysfunctional.
Then why don't you equally consider dysfunctional aspect and then be frightened of marriage? If you both functional and dysfunctional are equal, then you should say, I am thinking and I can't decide. I know, it may be a very small question to you, but to me it is frightening actually. To me, if you are saying that it is both functional and dysfunctional and I can't say, it means there is complete disconnect between your life and what you are studying. Family is primarily functional. Marriage is primarily functional. But not everything about marriage and family is fine. That's all. That's what R.D. Lyong, who is a critic, said. Finally, he studied so many families, psychiatrist worked, and finally he said, I have no alternative. Family is a great place. I love my family. But it is just that I want to bring attention to the kind of exploitation that is going on in the name of law. That's all. Whatever makes you say these are both functional and dysfunctional, and I can't decide.
We have to give a balance to
So is it because you have to give a balanced view you say it is both functional and dysfunctional? There is nothing like you have to give a balanced view. Give your views. But before you give your views, think. So you always take a golden mean. Now to me it is frightening because there is no connection. You don't have dilemmas, but as an answer you say balance, you say that this. Your answers should flow from you. Exam is not a kind of a ritual where you play some rules of the game. Exam is a presentation of yourself. If you cannot decide, say it cannot be decided. But if you can decide, don't say I am expected to give a balanced view. So if you can say I can't decide, that is a frightening because it shows complete disconnect between what you are and what you are writing. If you really have dilemmas and if you are writing, that's fine. But mostly you don't have. I don't think you ever thought. It's too obvious. You enjoy family. You want to have. But you also see certain problems. In fact, that's what the literature is also. R.D. Lyong is a strong advocate of family. He only said that I wanted to bring to attention certain dysfunctional aspects of family. He's a family man. So when do you know what it means to education? When you want to be honest and when you want to write honestly, then you will closely look at your own opinions. On the other hand, if you think that I don't have to think and after all I have to anyway write balanced answer, you don't check yourself. Education is to influence your thinking. Is it clear?
But even RT9 says that it is very contextual.
But what is your view? Did you go by R.D. Laing's views?
Yes, that's why I said
Then
my family, but I'm not able to decide whether I can advocate that to.
really think about it, please. Don't argue for argument's sake. Think about your brother. Think about your friend. Education and should enable you to place yourself in a real society and help you to intelligently handle it. Not that my family and these are all personal and this is sociology. If sociology has nothing to do with the personal, why sociology at all? It's a commitment not to learn. It's a commitment, a solemn oath that whatever I study should not suppose to influence me personally in any sense. So have you taken such a pledge? It's a commitment to oneself. It's nonsense. So, there are dysfunctions also. That is the view of Lyon. That is the view of everybody. As divorce rates are increasing, remarriage rates also are increasing. So on the whole, for a given population, number of marriages are increasing. Families are being broken, but broken families are getting reunited. So man is not seeking escape from family itself. He is seeking escape from a particular family and in search of another family. So these are simple observations. Think, apply to yourself. Then your reading will be intelligent, and then you will write. Drop this idea of balanced answers, please. Okay, contemporary trends in family. See, the institution of discuss the contemporary trends. So this, contemporary trends. We have discussed family changes, that is a contemporary trend. Marriage changes, that is a contemporary trend. And then how sexual division of labor is affecting industrialization, urbanization, education. That is also contemporary. All these things are contemporary trends. Is the institution of marriage under threat? Definitely not. Okay? There may be other things like live-in, but it is not so much that the marriage itself is under threat. As I said, divorces are increasing, but remarriages rates also are increasing. It is not at all likely that the marriage is going to disappear. The nature is going to change, sexual division of labor is going to change, expectations out of marriage is going to change. But marriage is not going to be under threat in any near time future. There will of course be some freak elements will not marry, but the societies will have marriages. We don't see in any foreseeable future disappearance of marriage. So write very, very clearly. You don't need studies. Feminist movement and discuss its impact on Indian society. Feminist movement define broadly feminism as focus on gender equality. focus on gender equality. Okay? Here it is about Indian society. What kind of things that Indian feminists took up? Sex related, sexual exploitation, dowry, rape, and then work related rights, maternity benefits, domestic violence. These are the things that changed. So I also gave an article on women's movement. You can cover those points. But basically, don't be frightened by the word feminism. Feminism is simply a movement for gender equality. Define it broadly. So whatever you have been reading under gender related issues and gender equality, that is feminism. Okay, come to C. I'll come back to C. Role of technology in changing the status of women. It's a very general question. Role of technology in changing the status of women. What is the first technology? Reproduction related technology. Okay, pills, family planning. So how did it affect the woman? Because it liberated. Control over sex means control over the children, pacing. And then after that, technology, industrialization, urbanization. These are all technological changes. A lot more child care compatible work. Control over child care and then going out and doing things. So these are all technology. Trace all this status of woman. We said that the entire topic on gender is about this changing status of woman. Changing status of woman. So here it is about role of technology. So sex related technology to industrialization and in the end software. Modern IT. We'll focus on IT in many other areas. We'll do that exclusively. Next. Sexual violence against women in public spaces. Yes, it improved the status of women. You don't think so? How did how did the idea of gender equality come at all without technology? Without technology, they would have been tied to child caring and child rearing. This entire economic opportunities, information technology. Why information? Industrialization. This is all a huge improvement. Education, is it a result of technology? Transport, result of technology. Actually, everything that is happening from civilizational times, we can talk about before civilization, is improving the status of woman. The entire westernization is an improvement over the status of woman. Only in simple societies, horticultural societies, matrilineal societies, woman's status may be higher. Agriculture put them down. But after that, entire westernization, modernization, industrial revolution, all have contributed to changing status of woman. All have contributed. Green Revolution. How? We'll look into that. Green Revolution specifically. Sexual violence against women in public spaces. So why here the question is on sexual violence, two words, sexual violence and then public spaces. These are two. So what is the most important thing? It is a public space. So basically, it is a reference to harassment, rape. Why so? What is the kind of social change that is going on? Social change is going on itself. So money equality and more going out. Urbanization, anonymity. And then old attitudes. Watch the documentary, India's Daughter. The attitudes loose attitudes that the women who are doing these things are loose. We're talking about public spaces. And then probably media, pornography. And probably attitude towards sex. Attitude towards sex. But you can say that the violence in within the household is equally great. There is violence, but this is about public spaces. So link it to the social change that is going on. One way of looking at it is that man's attitude towards sex and gender is the same, but woman is changing. More going out, more jobs, more accomplishment. But traditionally, woman as a sex object, patriarchy, those things remain. So you can take it as a kind of a gap between the past and the present. Conflict between the past and the present. No, anonymity means one can do and get away with it. That is anonymity.
I mean, is that in terms of surveillance or
In terms of sexual violence, be it harassment or rape.
the surveillance has gone high?
Surveillance has gone high, but anonymity also increased in the context of urbanization.
Social status, but as a person,
When we are talking about anonymity to the harassers. Okay. And to these questions, always take a broad turn. Broad. Technology versus woman. You don't really think about green revolution as such. If we can look into green revolution, but take a broadly certain trends will be there, but here and there maybe some downtrends, some counter features. Take a broad turn and look at this. Definitely anonymity is increasing because of urbanization. Exactly. Okay, sorry. More women are reporting is another thing. Partly due to reporting. Increased reporting leading to giving the impression that the violence is more. Okay. Next is joint family and household are linked. B, 3B and 1C, family and household. See, for these two questions, I want you to follow the similar strategy. What is household and family? Family is about kin connection. Okay. Whereas household is not kin connection, but having the same kitchen, same dwelling. Okay. So household is sometimes becoming more important because those who are unrelated also staying in the same dwelling. Many roommates, working women's hostels, paying guests, hostels. These are households. So dwelling unit is not family. Okay. But why is this concept important in Indian context? In Indian context, this is important to the issue of what is happening to the joint family. Okay. So joint family is being looked at in terms of joint in what sense? It is same dwelling unit, same house. Okay. Or functional. Property sharing. So there are different views. I gave it in the article. I.P. Desai and various views. So it is found that if you are according to different views, the status of joint family is changing. If you take joint family as the same household sharing property, then huge shift from joint family. On the other hand, if you take joint family as not the same whole, but some kind of a functional dependence, then you have a case of urban brother and rural brother. Joint family is still there. So depending on the joint family definition, the extent of disintegration of a joint family is viewed differently. So here you can quote different definitions. This is more academic. Each thinker quoted in a different way, and then according to this definition, so joint family is changing. So it is in this context, household and family distinction is important. Okay. So this is how you can handle. I couldn't find anything more. Harlambos simply says households and families. He doesn't give a detailed discussion on household and family. Only you find this discussion important in the context of changes in the joint family. That article I included in the material. Okay. Coming to the 3B, changes in the joint family in India. Discuss the changes in a joint family in India. That is about what is happening to the disintegration. What is happening is one. And then why? Discuss means why is this happening? Urbanization, industrialization, education, individualism. Okay. And then gender equality. Because joint family is patriarchal. So women tend to lose. So women would like to have independent setup. So rise of gender equality, industrialization, education, economic opportunities, differential income for brothers. So this is leading to the changes in the extent of joint family. But to what extent it is changing depends upon the definition. That's all. Oh, so any questions on this? So tell me, is the approach clear to you? So my number one tip is go by anthropology, Ember and Ember. I just want you to only do 3 chapters which give foundation to the topic of gender. So only 3 chapters of Ember and Ember. And for the contemporary changes are Lambos, and then for certain case studies and India related. Whatever I had, I gave it in the material. I will be posting one more article on sexual violence. Okay. So that should finish your preparation on gender. So work out your own outlines, work out more points, and prepare thorough answers. This should complete your preparation. And in this way, in 6 tests, we are going to complete the entire sociology syllabus.
Can I use the material that you have given lesson time? Because I have not also separated.
That is true. That is why you have your own material from whatever you studied. You revise your material, revise what you are good at, and then go through this and see where your material is lacking and read that. Don't change everything. So consolidate what you know, then see what is additional or what is different. But finally, you should be in a position to answer these questions. So don't discard what you studied. First revise it, consolidate, and then go through my material and then see where is your material lacking, or maybe in certain ways your material may be superior. For example, you may have had a separate article on sexual violence in public spaces. So you may have that superior material. So go through yours and then go through mine and get ready. Okay. But most important difference I am making in this chapter, in this test, is those 3 lessons of Ember and Ember, which give you clarity. Many questions can easily be answered from those Ember and Ember. You can't answer them from Harlambos. Only this functionalist view is from Harlambos. Feminist movement, Indian society, it is India.
Those 3 chapters are incorporated in the material.
Those 3 chapters are incorporated in the material. Is it clear? So get ready for the second test on 27th. Okay. I will discuss your scripts individually on 27th. It's like that only. You have to finish everything by August 20th. Maybe we can postpone comprehensive tests. We can think about that. But why not? Let us not postpone it now. We will think about it later. No, the syllabus may be vast, but what you should do is go through that booklet, go through all the previous questions. If you are in a position to answer them, and come ready for the text. That's all. You may think so, but let us see. It may not be like that. So go through the previous questions. Okay. So you don't think of caste and class. Identify 25 questions and prepare for those 25 questions.